You're watching SLU-TV, Channel 22. Now, Brent Carney, Courtney Brown, Health Reporter John Castelli, Chief Meteorologist Nicole Creighton, and Sports Director Leighton Buren. This is SLU News 22.
Good evening, SLU. I'm Brent Carney.
And I'm Courtney Brown. Tonight, we'll explain the tougher punishment awaiting those of you caught drinking on campus and take a closer look at the newest changes to Facebook. But first, our top story.
A recent rash of school shootings have SLU students wondering just how safe is our school. The gruesome execution-style killings of 6 students in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on Monday is the latest development in a disturbing trend that has been seen around the country. Earlier this year in September, a student was caught bringing a gun to Westminster Christian Academy in nearby Wildwood and was actually fired on by a police officer. The problem has not been absent from college campuses either. Also earlier this year, a student at Dawson College in Montreal opened fire in a school cafeteria, killing a fellow student and wounding 19 others.
So just how safe is SLU's campus? Joining us tonight is Officer Gray from the Department of Public Safety. Officer Gray, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How safe is our campus?
Well, I'll put it this way. We were rated #1 in safety from the University Chronicles a few years ago, and we're pretty proud of that.
Now, most of the incidents that have occurred so far this year that we talked about happened at high schools. What sort of different challenges face you and your department for defending a larger college campus?
Well, it's a little bit different. As I said, we were rated #1 in safety. We have the 3rd largest department here in the Midwest region. So we try to keep about 100 guys on staff at all times. And so hopefully we can cover all the areas as best as we can, and that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm. What do you think motivates students to commit these sorts of crimes?
Well, I think most of them were isolated incidents. It's not something that happens every day, every week at all universities or high schools. And I think this is kind of bottled down to a problem maybe with an individual. It's not something that we look at as a nationwide happening that's happening every day.
I agree with you. Most of the incidences are pretty isolated and unique, but say a SLU student is worried that another student might be capable of doing something like that or has seen warning signs. What should that student do?
Well, there's a lot of things in place. We have the student health services. Anytime that you see someone that might, say for instance, talk about guns all the time, you know, what is the reason behind that? Or talk about, you know, hurting someone, or just has problems that you might notice. Bring that to someone's attention. That's the best thing that you can do to avoid something like the tragedies that happened in the other colleges and high schools. So.
I understand. Well, Officer Gray, thanks a lot for coming down, and we really appreciate what you and the rest of your department do for the school.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
A stiffer punishment awaits those students who violate the university's drinking policy. A new email from the Vice President of Student Development says, beginning in mid-October, any students who violate the alcohol or controlled substance abuse policy will have to attend a 6-week class costing $60. SHARP, or SLU Harm and Alcohol Reduction Program, will aim to educate students to make better decisions by highlighting the consequences of poor decision making and also by promoting healthier alternatives. Each student will be individually analyzed in hopes that through focused support, violators will learn to respect and care for themselves. The required $60 will be put towards alcohol education and programming. We'd love to hear your reactions on SHARP, so let us know how you feel about this by visiting our website at slutv.slu.edu. Post any opinions or comments you may have in our forums.
I'm pretty sure that that new drinking rule is going to cause some serious arguments around campus, but one thing all of us can agree on is that the weather this week was absolutely perfect.
You're right, Brent, it was. Actually, on Tuesday we had a record-breaking high of 94 degrees, but don't get too used to that because the fall weather is just around the corner. Our meteorologist Ashley Colgan is here to tell us about the weather. Ashley?
Well, Courtney, that fall weather, it started last night actually when we had a cold front move through, and that ridge did bring in cold temperatures, much colder than what we were seeing on Tuesday and Thursday. Don't worry, for the Cardinals game on Saturday, we are going to see a warm-up and it's going to be a nice fall day. For tonight, we'll see a low of 46 And our sunrise will be at 7:02 a.m. Later on, Nikki Kradar will have our weekend forecast.
All right, well, thank you very much, Ashley.
See you next week. For some, it's a useful means of communications, but for most of us, it's just a huge distraction that keeps us from studying. Either way, the Facebook is a necessary part of any college kid's lifestyle. Therefore, it's no surprise that the recent changes to the popular social website have caused more debate around school than any actual academic subject ever could. To take a look at the new changes and to explain to us the importance of Facebook is Kathy Kelly.
Started by 3 sophomores at Harvard back in February of 2004, Facebook.com, an online directory, quickly became a craze for students across the nation. But the new features and expansion of the popular website has created much controversy. On Tuesday, September 26th, Facebook opened its membership, now allowing anyone with an email account to register. Prior to this change, Facebook registration required either a college email account or an invitation from a high school network. Students are complaining that Facebook is trying to emulate MySpace.com, another popular networking website. Although now both websites are public, Facebook allows users to control who can or cannot see their profile.
Personally, I think it's Facebook's right to open up their uses to everyone. Although I wouldn't particularly want my parents on it.
Well, I thought it was more like a college student program, and it just seems like that's just going to be like MySpace, and they're going to have a lot of weird people.
It is just a great way to network with people. So if they open it up to everyone, I think everyone will get used to it. They just have to use their privacy controls a little bit better.
A few weeks prior to the expansion, Facebook faced even more controversy when they added 2 new features without installing the proper privacy settings. The new features, Newsfeed and Minifeed, allow users to see the online history of their friends. Many disliked these additions, and over 200,000 student users signed a petition and boycotted Facebook. Some lesser-known new additions to the Facebook website include politicians being able to campaign using Facebook profiles and a new game that allows users to find out more about their Facebook friends.
Stay tuned.
Whether you like it or not, he's bad. Hell yes.
Music make the world go round. Where it goes, you just don't know. Heart is like a marching band. I'm a fan of the stand. It's an anthem, I'm proud of it. Hey, baby, saying hey, baby. So baby, please don't leave me. Don't you go. Baby, no, baby, no.
Recently, several Big 12 schools have followed other campuses around the country by distributing free contraceptives in all their residence halls. It's a very controversial issue, and our man on the street hit the streets of St. Louis University to find out what you thought about this new issue.
I'm very conservative, so I feel like it's not a good idea to promote having sex before you're married, but I think that if girls are going to make the decision to do that, they should have something available to them to prevent pregnancies at a younger age than what they're ready for.
I think it would be a good idea because most people are having sex anyway, and this would just reduce the number of teen pregnancies.
As long as they're controlled with who they're giving it to, legal age, I have no problem with it.
Contraceptives on campus, should it be available here at SLU? Well,
it's a touchy subject.
I believe that contraceptives on campus is a great idea, just because I think it's a part of our lifestyle, and it's better to be smart about it than to be stupid about it, so it's a good idea.
I think personal responsibility goes a long ways. I think people could get their own contraceptives.
I don't think SLU should offer them. Using contraceptives is a personal choice, so if you want them, find your own ways of getting them.
Contraceptives, I'm down with it. I mean, I use them all the time, so let's go for it.
But I'm an independent fundamental Baptist, so I believe in abstinence before marriage.
I think it's a good idea for other schools to offer contraceptions, and I don't think the fact that this is a Catholic school that it should stop them from giving contraceptives to students.
Thanks a lot for all of you who participated. It's certainly a very controversial issue.
Yes, it is. Well, if you're wondering if you can take out those sweaters yet, you might want to stay tuned because our chief meteorologist, Nicole Credo, will be back after the break with our forecast. So don't go anywhere.